Hey, Facebook family, Martin Lopez here from the Curiosity Theory. Curiosity Theory is the book that I wrote, Path from Conflict to Resolution. Today, we're going to talk about empathy, empathetic listening, empathic listening, some people call. So it's the end of chapter 1. And finally, this is the day 14 to the 31-day GSD, Get Shit Done Challenge. We're getting stuff done here. So this is the last part of chapter 1. So it's the last two paragraphs of chapter 1. It goes like this. The Curiosity Theory is about empathetically listening to others, empathically listening to others. It's about understanding our own needs both in and out of conflict. It's about hearing others' needs. It's about finding alignment that returns us to productive interaction. It allows us to work, build, learn, teach, or just plain love. It's about the human connection. Conflict disrupts all those things. The Curiosity Theory is about the ability to make curious accidents happen on purpose. That is the idea I want to share with you in my book. So let's get into it. Empathetically listening. So what is empathy? Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Does that mean you feel those feelings that someone else is feeling? No, absolutely not. It doesn't mean that. Empathy means you have the ability to understand and you get to understand those feelings. So understanding feelings is simply being able to connect, being able to be able to understand that someone has a feeling about something. So for instance, like sadness, you don't have to feel sad. I'm taking my little chart out. So you don't have to feel sad to understand what feeling sad is. So if somebody feels sad, you don't have to feel that sadness. We've all felt sad, right? If somebody feels angry, then we don't have to be feeling angry at that moment, but we can understand that someone's feeling angry, scared, disappointed, pressured, resentful, hurt, anxious, lonely, hurt. Those are all different feelings. I repeated some of them, but they're all different feelings that human beings have. And at the time that someone's experiencing those feelings, empathy allows us to understand that those are feelings that people have. And that we don't have to be having those feelings, but we understand and we can share the feelings with other people. Like we can share, like, well, I can see that you're sad about this, and I can see that this situation has got you sad. I can understand why you're sad. Understanding. It's about looking through their glasses, through from their point of view versus your own all the time. So if you haven't gotten my list, I have a list. God, this light is way too much. I have a list. I created a feelings list, and part of the feelings list is feelings that are present when our needs are satisfied. When we have human needs that are satisfied, we have feelings of confidence, empowerment, curiosity, inspiration, grateful, peaceful. Those are needs that we feel. Those are feelings that we experience. We feel peaceful. We feel calm when our needs are being met. When they're not being met or satisfied, we feel apprehensive. We feel suspicious, worried, annoyed. I got a whole list of them. We got like 30 or 40 needs on each side, or feelings rather on each side. And that is a very, very powerful list. It's a very, very powerful way to increase your emotional vocabulary and work on your emotional intelligence. The first part of emotional intelligence is understanding that that's something you want to work on. And then the second part would be to actually start to understand the different words, to move beyond, like I say in my book, I start with yum and yuck. So the basic feelings that human beings have are yum, when something tastes good, and yuck when something doesn't taste good. And we use that about feeling. So when we like the way something feels, we say, yum, that's good. And then when we don't like it, we say yuck. So we start with yum and yuck. Let me take a quick drink of water. So the Curiosity Theory is also about understanding our own needs, both in conflict, so understanding what we need in conflict and those feelings that tie to that, as well as out of conflict. So when we're experiencing just regular life, it's great to know what feelings are attached to that and what needs are attached to that. It's about hearing other people's needs. So when we can hear what people need inside of what they say, inside of what they're speaking, that's a very powerful thing. That's an insight. And I'm not talking about you know what they're thinking. I'm talking about being able to empathically connect with them and understand that they're having certain needs and certain feelings. Let me check my little thing right here. I'm going to share this right here. I'm going to share this. So I want to share whenever I do a Facebook Live, I want to share it. So right now, I am sharing it to my Facebook, and maybe we can get more people to watch. That'd be awesome. So it's also about finding alignment that returns us to productive interaction. What I mean by productive interaction, it's our interactions that are causing something positive. A positive interaction, because when we are experiencing conflict, we're not necessarily wanting to help each other and produce a good result. A lot of times when we are experiencing conflict, we're gonna work against people, even if it's against ourselves. Sometimes what we do, have you ever known somebody that's experiencing conflict with you, and they're gonna hurt themselves, because hurting themselves is another way for them to hurt you. And that's the way people are put together. I mean, I was thinking today when I was out earlier, I was thinking, we are really, really good at hurting ourselves. I mean, nobody has to teach us how to hurt ourselves or how to hurt other people. That's just very innate. That's very natural for us, that when we're upset, we lash out at people, we say things, we're judgmental, we do a lot of that stuff. So that is just something we're good at. I'm good at it. I know most everybody that I know is pretty good at it. So, get this thing back here. What's going on here? So, that's just we're just good at that. The thing we want to learn is when we're in a conflict, how we can actually say something positive, how we can bring the positive, how we can bring the joy, or like my friend Aaron Kirkby says, bring the goodness, right? So the curiosity theory is about finding alignment that returns us to productive interaction, back to productive interaction. It allows us to get back to work. It allows us to build on what we want to build. It allows us to learn so we can learn from each other. It allows us to teach, the ability to teach if there's something that we want to teach, or just plain love. It's all about human connection. The curiosity theory is nothing more than a book and a theory about getting back to human connection. That is it in a nutshell. It's got some ideas in order to do that. And conflict disrupts all that. It disrupts love. It disrupts our ability to teach. It disrupts our ability to learn, our ability to build. It disrupts all those abilities because it stops everything. Conflict stops us dead in our tracks. What else? So the curiosity theory is about making curious accidents happen on purpose. And this is what I mean by making curious accidents happen on purpose. Most of the fights and most of the conflicts we experience happen by accident. Like we said something and it was taken the wrong way, or something is said to us, or we think something is done to us, and then we react. And typically I call those an accident. We got in a fight by accident. I didn't try to get offended. I wasn't trying to be offended by what you were saying. I simply was offended, or I wasn't trying to offend you. It was an accident that the whole offense happened. That's the way we mostly get in fights or in conflicts, by accident. So what I'm saying is how to use it, getting out of a fight by accident, and that is the idea that I want to share with you in my book, and that's what the curiosity theory is all about. It's about getting back to human connection, and then making curious accidents happen on purpose. So I want to thank you. Today is day 14. Is it day 14? Wow, day 14 in the 31-day challenge. I really appreciate, and I'm learning a lot. I'm learning more about my own subject. I'm learning more about my own book. Every time I'm going to take this down right now. Every time I do another Facebook Live, I'm literally learning more about my own book, The Curiosity Theory. And that's pretty exciting to learn about your own book. I wrote this, and having to do Facebook Lives, I'm learning more about it. I guess day 14, and I've got 6 or 7 chapters, and day 14, I've barely made it to chapter 1. So tomorrow, day 15, is pretty exciting. We are going to get into chapter 2, finally, and I'm going to talk about the first time I used curiosity on purpose. And I'm going to share with you a story about this band that I was in and something that happened and how we were able to turn conflict, the path of conflict, and turn it into something more powerful, which literally was creativity and an amazing outcome. So God bless you. Thank you very much for listening to my Facebook live show, and I'm very grateful for your time and for your consideration. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.